Alzheimer's disease is one of the most debilitating neural disorders affecting millions of elderly people worldwide. Dr. Mureșan aims to develop an optimized therapy that will employ advanced closed-loop stimulation tools. For the highest efficiency, this technique will dynamically change the properties of visual and auditory stimuli to optimally engage brain activity. Keep watching Research in the Spotlight to learn how CIRCUITGENUS therapy promises to restore normal brain function and alleviate the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. Professor Mureșan, thank you for having us today.
Thank you for coming.
Currently, you are implementing a collaborative research project funded under the Norway Grants. Which is the main objective of your project?
So, our project is called CIRCUITGENUS, and as the name says, it's a combination between the investigation of neural circuits and the study of Alzheimer's disease, more specifically finding a cure for Alzheimer's disease. The main objective of the project, if you want, is to find a non-invasive, cheap, easy cure for Alzheimer's disease, which sounds simple, but it's actually very complicated. And the reason is that the therapy involves stimulating the brain with flashes of light at a certain frequency. And apparently, as it has been discovered by Li Tsai from MIT, this helps the brain clear up from proteic builds-up that are typical for Alzheimer's disease. Now, why this happens, we don't know. And in order to find out and to optimize this therapy, we need to study how neural circuits behave when they are stimulated with flashed light inputs.
Which are the main results in your project so far?
So the first step of the project was to actually implement the GENUS therapy in our lab and to devise a device that is able to deliver reliable flashed pulses of light with controlled frequency, with precise luminance control, with color control, and to use this in order to study Alzheimer's disease in models of animals. You cannot do experiments directly in the human brain, but you can do experiments first in animal models, and then you can translate what you find to humans. So the first step of the project was to successfully develop a device called Gamma Hill, which is able to deliver the therapy to animal models and to humans. Now the second step and the second discovery was that apparently blue light seems to be much more effective in driving the brain than white light. So far everybody was using white light, but our lab discovered that using a different color is actually making the brain respond much more robustly. And this was presented recently in Melbourne at the International Neuroscience Conference. Currently, we are trying to transfer what we found in mice to humans. And we are adapting this therapy to humans, where we will study using electroencephalography, EEG, eye tracking, and peripheral visual stimulation. We will study how the human brain responds to the same kind of therapy.
In your opinion, which will be the social impact of your project?
Well, this is actually quite easy to answer for this kind of project because a large fraction of the population is affected by Alzheimer's disease. Unfortunately, about 10% of the world population over 65 suffers from Alzheimer's disease. And if we go up to 85, so starting from 85 years onwards, 1 person in 3 has Alzheimer's disease. And with the increase in the lifespan of the population, it is expected that this percentage will only increase in the future. Now, the big problem is that these neurological disorders have huge costs for society. Just in Europe alone, in 2014, it is estimated that the neurological disorder-associated costs were over 700 billion euros, more than cancer and AIDS together. So, the impact of this project, if it's successful of course, will be to develop a cheap and effective therapy for one of the main diseases of the old age, and at the same time, while alleviating the lives and helping the lives of ordinary people, it will also contribute to dramatically reduce costs with healthcare.
We are discussing a collaborative project involving a team of researchers with various backgrounds and an international partnership with a prestigious university in Norway. What does it mean to you and the team you coordinate such a partnership with, and what are the benefits?
Yes, so we are actually lucky to be part of a very exciting team with the group of Koen Verwecke from the University of Oslo. And they are experts in behavior, in models of different diseases, in models of animal models where you can actually study the brain. And They are experts in studying the retrosplenial cortex, which is a key structure that influences planning and navigation. Now, our expertise was more on the theoretical side, data analysis side. So this is like a synergistic approach where we are complementary. They are bringing their expertise in animal behavior and in experiments that involve behavior, and this is critical for the Alzheimer's project. And we are bringing our expertise mostly in building up the tools and the analysis of the data. Now, there are many advantages for all of us. First of all, we learn a lot from them, and they learn a lot from us. And second, this project has actually greatly increased the visibility of our institute and my research group, which actually enabled us, together with the Norway group, to apply successfully together to a European grant, an ERANET neuron grant that was recently funded. More, working together with people in Oslo actually allows us to publish in much higher impact journals, which will further increase the credibility and the visibility of the lab. And finally, by actually being the coordinators of a large project, we also had to develop procedures for administration and management of research grants, and this actually helps us a lot for future projects that we will try to access.
In the end, which are top 3 ideas that people should keep in mind about your project?
So the first idea is that they should not be afraid to age, because now we are starting to develop tools and very effective treatments that will actually help them in case they will get Alzheimer's or any other age-related disease. The second is, I urge people to use their brain as much as they can, because when you're using your brain, you're actually producing the gamma oscillations, which are the ones we study, which are very effective in treating Alzheimer's disease, but also probably preventing it. So if you use your brain, most likely it will stay healthy. And finally, I would ask people or suggest that they trust science and that they support science. And this is something very, very important for us, especially coming from Romania, that people should start to trust more into science and to the scientific method, and to understand that now there are many groups that have developed in the past years that are really doing cutting-edge science, and they need to be pushed forward and supported, because the science will help our society evolve.
Thank you for watching Research in the Spotlight, a podcast for scientists and passionate science people made under the Norway Grants research program by the Executive Agency for Higher Education, Research, Development and Innovation Funding as program operator. Until the next time, like and share this episode if you think science is a key to a better future.